I've given up on humanity, guys. Anyways, yeah. Today's episode is going to be not your average coffee table chat. We're talking about the death of Charlie Kirk. Yeah, that Charlie Kirk. The guy who could fill stadiums with debates, energy, and occasional Twitter meltdowns. Now, before you clutch your pearls, don't worry, I'm not here to mock the man. I respect where respect is due. He was a husband, a father, and a hero. But the way this whole thing went down, it's like America decided to stage a conspiracy movie in real life, except the writing is sloppy and the plot holes are bigger than Utah Valley University's bag-checking policy. Here's the rundown of Charlie Kirk's death and the aftermath. At about 12:23 p.m. MDT, Charlie Kirk was shot during the America Comeback Tour at Utah Valley University. He was struck in the neck and the bullet hit his artery up here. The weapon was reportedly a high-powered bolt-action rifle. Now, as soon as it happened, some people were saying that he was killed at scene. And honestly, with the amount of blood he lost, it is now confirmed that yes, he did in fact die right as he was shot. And luckily, he felt no pain. Now, a friend of a friend said that they weren't checking bags at the Utah Valley University, which, if true, is a wild oversight for a national figure at a tour stop. Rumors quickly spread all over the internet that Charlie's wife and 2 kids were there. Let me just tell you guys, they actually weren't. Ali Stuckey even posted on her story to clarify. Now, as soon as Charlie was shot, the alleged shooter ran off the building. It was reported that the rifle was later found in the woods. Yet when you look at the footage of the alleged shooter on the roof, he doesn't seem to be carrying a rifle. People have noticed that little detail. So where'd it go? Magic disappearing gun, or are we missing a piece of the puzzle? And get this, supposedly the shot was fired from about 200 yards away. That's not Call of Duty easy mode, that's professional level precision. Now let's talk about the guy in the white cap. You know, right, standing next to everybody and Charlie Kirk. Everybody is swearing that he was signaling to the shooter. Now you've probably seen clips right before Charlie was struck. This guy tips his hat. People freaked out. Look, there's a signal. Well, it turns out that guy was actually Frank Turek. Yeah, Frank Turek, Charlie's close friend. Unless Frank suddenly switched careers from Christian apologetics to sniper spotting, that whole theory is kind of dead on arrival. By 1:30 p.m., Real America's Voice, RAV, announced that Charlie Kirk had passed away. Then at 1:51, RAV added that no shooter was in custody. Meanwhile, inside the chaos, another headline dropped. At the White House, there was a meeting, and a prayer for Charlie Kirk was requested. Democrats shouted, screamed, yelled, no. Like, yeah, just no. Because apparently now prayer is partisan too. Like even Kamala Harris and Joe Biden condemned the act of violence committed against Charlie Kirk. Then at around 2:35 or 2:40 p.m., Trump stepped in and he ordered all the flags lowered to half-mast in honor of Charlie Kirk. He also signed an immediate executive order mandating the death penalty, with no possibility of pardon for the shooter. Although Charlie Kirk's death was very serious, I think we should not get ahead of ourselves. And although, yes, the shooters are definitely, the killers, they still have a right to a trial. The Constitution said so. This is just, yet unjust. Of course, if they had made a trial, or if they had made a plea, they were obviously going to be given the death penalty, but still. Soon after, the FBI supposedly offered $100,000 to report the alleged shooter. And then, plot twist, the alleged shooter's own family came forward. They reported to the FBI that their son had confessed to shooting Charlie Kirk. On September 16th, they're already prepping for his death penalty. But here's the thing. People find it strange that the family reported him so quickly. Others say the family was conservative, and once the son went to college, he shifted politically. His father, supposedly, was even a retired police chief. And ever since this guy's been in custody, conspiracy theorists have been saying it's not him. There's this post on X, and I'll link it in the description below. But while looking at this video, the guy has his arm on the gate, in which, by the way, other side of it is Charlie Kirk. He has his hand there straight and stiff the whole time, even after Charlie was shot. Like, is your first instinct not to get down and hide? Like, what do you think? He looks like he's smiling too. Like, what the heck? Also looks like a trained professional. Then another suspected shooter popped up from my Instagram, in which I will link below too. This guy actually debated Charlie Kirk a while back. I don't know his name and I don't know who he is, but people swear he looks like the guy in the footage and the photos the FBI released on the alleged shooter. And then there's 2 more suspects that people are pointing out. Next to Charlie, right in front of the white cap guy, there's this guy in black. People claim he may have had a gun under his armpit and might have shot Charlie Kirk from there, which I don't think could happen. But again, who knows? This is really turning into Clue live edition. But wait, this next part is where things really get weird. We go from tragedy to the Twilight Zone. Soon after Charlie's death, somebody found a published book on Amazon. Its name was The Shooting of Charlie Kirk, a comprehensive account of the Utah Valley University attack, the aftermath, and America's response. I have the link for that post in my description below. Make sure to check that out too. But here's the kicker. It was published September 9th, 2025, but Charlie was shot on September 10th. Now people say, oh, maybe it was a glitch in the system. Like, girl, no, let's be real. If the book was already written, proofread, formatted, and approved before the event, that's not just a glitch. That's either clairvoyance or somebody had the script before the movie. The author is listed as Anastasia J. Casey, but digging around, some people say that she's not even a real person. There are at least 3 physical copies that I'm aware of in circulation around the world right now. So what does this tell you? Maybe the Elites had this plan. Maybe the so-called New World Order wanted Charlie Kirk gone. Maybe it was even Israel, and supposedly that coordinated the hit. I'm going to be linking some posts of people saying it's Israel in the description below. No, I'm not saying I know, I'm just saying a lot of dots are being connected, and maybe too cleanly. 2 days later, Charlie's wife, Erica, took the stage, and let me tell you, she brought fire. Here's a quote she said: "If you thought my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry." Honestly, that moved me, that shook a lot of people up. She's honestly filled and she radiates with the Holy Spirit. I've seen her and met her in person. She is a woman of God, radiating faith and resilience. And that moment alone silenced a lot of people. And then, going back to September 16, 2025, things got even weirder. A thread from Tyler Robinson and his transgender mate. I'll link that in the description below as well. It shows text between Tyler Robinson and his transgender mate, where Tyler allegedly admitted to killing Charlie Kirk. Now, before you say case closed, let's remember, this shot came from 200 yards away off a rooftop with a bolt-action rifle. That's not some casual, oops, I hit the bullseye kind of shot. That's trained, professional level. So either Tyler Robinson is some kind of secret Navy SEAL LARPing as a college dropout, or this is a plant. Maybe the CIA, maybe the FBI, or maybe somebody higher told him to take the fall. Because let's not forget, MLK, CIA operation, JFK, CIA knew and was incorporated in it. Pearl Harbor, CIA knew again. So do I think they draw the line at Charlie Kirk? Please, no. So here we are, a tragic death, a messy investigation, more questions than answers, and conspiracy theories swirling like a tornado in a trailer park. But here's what I would like to know. Whether you like Charlie Kirk or not, this shook America, and maybe, just maybe, we're only scratching the surface of what really went down. Stay tuned, because in the next episode, we'll be going into a deep dive in how Israel allegedly ties to Charlie Kirk's death and what that might mean for the bigger picture. This has been Do You Ever Really Think About It? And if you didn't, well, now you do.